Well, it's Throwback Thursday, and I'm here to share a very impactful event that occurred when I was running for sheriff the very first time. It was 2004. I was going to as many events as I could. I was walking door to door, and I had this wonderful campaign team that was walking door to door for me as well. We walked over 25,000 houses. I went to dozens and dozens and dozens of meetings. So there's this one occasion that I show up at this meeting and there are 7 people there. Did you hear me? 7. Now keep in mind there's probably 500,000 people in the county, and I'm trying to communicate with all of them at least twice before the election. And I think, my goodness, why in the world did they book me at a meeting with only 7 people for 2 hours? The math doesn't work here. I need to be talking to hundreds of people. But anyway, I dutifully sat through the meeting. And when the meeting was over, I was scurrying to my car because I was now running close on time to make it to my next campaign meeting. When a lady coming across the parking lot said, Colonel Judd, I need to talk to you for a moment. And I rushed back to her and I said, what can I do for you? I only use her name because she said I could. She's a wonderful lady. She said, my name's Teresa Kemp. I was in the meeting with you. And I said, yeah, Teresa, I remember. She says, I've been praying, and God's told me that you're going to be the next sheriff. And I want you to promise me one thing. I said, well, first and foremost, Teresa, I've been praying too. And God hadn't told me that. All I hear from him is you need to work harder. And she laughed and said, will you promise me one thing? I said, what's the promise? She said, well, I grew up as a teenager and a young adult addicted to drugs, methamphetamine. I've been in and out of your jail. In fact, I've been in and out of most jails in Central Florida. And now I'm thinking, oh great, out of the 7, this one can't even vote for me. But I didn't say it. I just thought it. If more people would just think stuff and not say it, they'd be a whole lot better off. So I said, what can I do for you? She said, I changed my life in a faith-based dorm in a county jail. But it wasn't your county jail, and it wasn't your faith-based dorm in Polk County. Promise me, when you get to be sheriff, you'll start a faith-based dorm. I looked her in the eye that day and I said, Teresa, you have my promise. If the good Lord allows me to be sheriff, we'll have a faith-based dorm. Well, now I'm running late to my next meeting, so I hop in my car and I take off in the vicinity of the speed limit. So I get about 3 miles down the road, and then it hit me. You know, you don't just receive messages from your preacher on Sunday. You don't receive directions just from the president or the governor or the state senator or the sheriff. Sometimes God speaks to you through his missionaries and his children. That day, Teresa Kemp, that had been convicted of a felony, was the messenger from God saying, this is what you need to do. So the campaign went on. At the end of the day, at the end of the campaign, it was a humbling experience when I was able to win the election. But that's not the end of the story. I met with the staff at the sheriff's office and the incoming staff, which, by the way, was at the sheriff's office. We didn't bring any outsiders in. We had professionals in this organization. And I said, Teresa Kemp asked me to promise her one thing, but I think she was the messenger of God, and we're going to do that. We're going to start a faith-based dorm in the county jail where people can volunteer to go there and change from the inside out. We did that. We still have a faith-based dorm today. Teresa Kemp still works in that volunteer program. And you know what? People who have a checkered past can change. Teresa Kemp is one among many that have shown me that you can grow up, you can kick that drug habit, you can get away from those bad friends and be a wonderful, productive citizen. Teresa is, and we're still making positive changes in people's lives at the sheriff's office, in the county jail, because of Teresa's work, volunteers that work with her, and volunteers from our different faiths that come in to make a positive difference in our world. Gosh, this is a great community. Teresa's a great lady, and I'm better off for knowing her.